Hello and welcome to Saved, Not Scammed, where we expose manipulation, uplift the truth, and where we always remember Jesus didn't need an upline, so neither do we. My name is Kayla, and I am a self-proclaimed baby Christian. What that means to me is I don't be knowing everything, okay? I'm not going to push my religious beliefs down your throat, but I will call out faith manipulation within multi-level marketing business structures. I personally think they are pyramid schemes. If you have to recruit, that is a pyramid scheme if you ask yours truly. Today we have a channel favorite, John Melton. I just took a sneaky peek, just looking around on his Facebook, okay? And of course, what do you find? A nearly hour-long live. So we have very little time to waste here if we want to get through this whole thing, because I'm real bad about getting tired of these yappers yapping. I'm a yapper and I keep yapping. But regardless, let's hear this yapper. If you don't know, very shortly, he is the co-founder of an MLM called Nueva. Nueva sells health and wealth opportunities. And to me, it's all just a big old scam-a-lam. Let's let John start talking. This video says in the caption, until you start treating it like a real business, you will experience hobby results. This was from February 13th, right before Valentine's Day. He really had his mind in the right place, didn't he? All right, let's go.
Action. What up? John Melton coming to you live with MyLifestyleAcademy.com, where we help you go from average to savage in your home business. And listen, it's network marketing, not work marketing. This is going to be hard, but it is worth it. So let's have a conversation today, because I think this is very important. I think this is an important discussion. So many people, we live in this microwave society. What does that mean? That means people want quick results. Listen, it's not get rich quick, but it is get rich eventually, which is better than get rich never. So you have to start treating it like a business. Listen, let's point this out. I'm gonna point this out.
He is really on one in this video, which, we love to see over here when he is feeling himself. And I can only think, like, the whole microwave thing and all this stuff, when he thinks about it, he is just like, oh my gosh, John, you're the best. Like, he is really just hyping himself up. I'm sure he's like talking to his wife, like, what do you say about us saying that this is like a microwave society? We want stuff with instant gratification.
What up?
Oh my goodness. Okay, John, continue. How are you going to make us treat this like our real business, even though we're going to make $0 according to the income disclosure statement that almost all companies, except for yours, have out there?
Would you agree? Let me know in the comments. By the way, can you hear me loud and clear? What's up, Tara? Good to see you.
Yes, we hear you.
And if you're a replay viewer, let me know when you're watching this. I'm just curious. But if you are building a business and you want them filet mignon results, you can't have hot dog habits. There's a lot of wannapreneurs out there. But I think we can admit that, like, the most successful people on planet Earth are entrepreneurs, business owners, people that are self-employed. Maybe they're a doctor, a lawyer, they have their own construction company, consulting firm. The bottom line is they're entrepreneurs. Whether they're like a solopreneur, they have a small firm, but when you look at the most successful people in the world, they are business owners. Are there...
Ultimately, what he's saying would be true, right? The person who owns all of these entities would be the most successful, right? Over the CEO, over everyone else. They are the ones who is ultimately owning everything. So that's not per se wrong, but that's coming at it from a position of what already exists. If you are starting a brand new business, it is definitely difficult, especially depending on many factors. But most importantly, is your business going to be successful? Is what you're selling unique? Are you able to run it correctly? Like, there's so many factors to think about. What he's not going to say is that Nueva is not your own business. You do not own it. In fact, I was just looking at a policy and procedure for, I want to say Amare, and it was because we're having an MLM devotionals. It's been a while since I did one of those. We're going to have one of those coming up. But it specifically says, you are not an employee and this is not a business opportunity. They were like, do not say that. Do not allude to that. Do not think that. This is not in their policies and procedures internally said this is not a business opportunity. So, John, what are you going to tell us about owning your own business? But when you look at owning your own business, which has a lot of downfalls, and you look at steadily going up a corporate ladder, better yet, finding a job you love, learning to live within the means that it provides you, including a large safety savings portion and retirement, two separate things, that would be absolutely ideal. And then who cares if you climb a ladder, if you're owning your own business, if you do this, do that. You are living a happy, beautiful life. Anyway, let's let John continue.
Employees out there that get rich. Sure, of course. But the majority of people that achieve financial wealth, success, abundance, they don't just have the income. They have the freedom. Smash that heart button if you're like me. You're not in this for money. See, I was money motivated when I was BROKE. I don't even like saying that word, by the way. I hate that word. But with that being said,
I'm sorry, I think John is broken. I think that no matter how much money he has, when you spend time trying to convince people to join your company, in which most likely 99% of them will just be paying you money and not making anything themselves, and you're disguising it as a potential, just like this video, potential for them to get rich if they work hard enough, when the entire time they are working, they're not guaranteed a dollar. It doesn't matter if they work 40-hour weeks, they are not guaranteed 1 cent versus a normal 9 to 5, where you are in fact guaranteed for every single minute that you spend on the clock. Boop, boop. That's a little bit in your pocket. A little bit in your pocket.
when I didn't have money, that's when I was money motivated. Once I made a lot of money, I realized it's not money. Because let me prove it to you. Because I know some of you say, no, John, I am money.
That is because now you have rich privilege. Now, because it is not a resource that you need, you can then focus on other things, because that's what money is, a resource.
Hot dog habits. Money motivated. Sure, maybe. But hold on, let's look at it this way. If I told you, I don't know, you could go live in another country, like some third world country, I'll pay you $1 million a year, but you're living like, third world country, you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, no, thank you. I'm going to have you clean Porta-Johns. Porta-Johns. I don't know why I thought about this, but I'm going to pay you $1 million. You got to clean Porta-Johns. Like, you got to clean at least, 50 a day. You'd be like, no way. No way. What if I said you could make $1 million a year and you had a real prestigious job, like real prestigious, like you're the CFO of some but you work 100 hours a week, you're never home, you barely see your family. Don't tell me you would do it. I don't think the people that would watch my video probably wouldn't do that. They would not sacrifice their health, their relationship, their spouse, their kids to make money. It's not the money. Yes, you.
Why do you need $1 million, John? Why do you, who needs $1 million? I think that today there is a huge disproportion between housing, food, and the income that people get. It is absolutely, when you compare from 50 years ago to now, the cost of living versus the income, that wage gap has gotten, absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. And I absolutely understand the need for more of that resource, money. But $1 million is not necessary, even in today's day. If you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath suburban home, you want 2 decent cars, and you want to be able to go on vacations a couple times a year, you don't need $1 million. But no, you want more than that. And that's okay to want more than that. But it's when the ethics start getting in trouble there, it's you're tossing your ethics out to get more money. That is not required, though. That's the thing, is that there's a million jobs, there's a million entrepreneurial opportunities, there's a million things that you can do that will deliver you more if you want more, that do not require
hot dog habits.
You to throw your ethics out the door. But John's going to make it seem like, no, this is still the best opportunity for you.
What up, what up?
Because you don't have to pay all of the upfront cost. You don't have to handle the shipping. You don't have to handle the returns. You don't have to handle customer service. Yeah, because you don't own your own business. Okay?
You want to make a lot of money. Duh. But you really want to do something that has impact, like purpose. Like you can really you can change lives for a living. I love that. But also work from home. You can make money. Look, this is what I love. I can wake up in the morning, lay in bed at, let's say it's six in the morning. I get on my phone. I got to make sure my volume's all the way down. My the light, when your phone's like real bright, I can turn the brightness because Nadia, she will yell at me if I wake her up prematurely before she's done with her beauty rest. But with that being said,
I do the same thing. I am the grouchiest person in the morning. Y'all don't even know who my husband wakes up to. Ooh, she's a meanie bat. I go, you wake me up.
I can work, on my phone in the morning. You can, literally anywhere you have an internet connection. I'm in the car, not driving, always riding because Nadia's always driving. So tomorrow we have, for Valentine's Day, of course, what do we have? A volleyball tournament. Headed down to DC for a volleyball game. But while we're driving down, I can be on the phone responding to messages, right? I can be in the gym between sets responding to messages. I'm on a plane, a train. I'm in an automobile, plane, trains, and automobiles. I'm building my business. I'm building my freaking empire. How cool is that? That's pretty freaking cool. The fact that you can build your business in the nooks and crannies or, around your busy schedule is awesome. However,
the fact that you spend 24/7 manipulating and deceiving people into thinking this is a good opportunity for the average Joe
hot dog habits
is what you get to do all day long from the moment you wake up with your spouse asleep in bed. Don't cuddle them, okay? Don't make sure that they wake up with a warm arm around them. No. Don't go make them coffee and listen to some nice music and take a sip while watching the birds out your window. No. What you need to do is get on that phone and from 6 a.m. throughout the entire day, what could you possibly be doing on the phone other than convincing people that they need to join this business opportunity, telling them that these products are great, which I don't even see on his social media, him talking about the products, ever. So that's what he's doing all the time, is just manipulating people, making content like this. This is him working. This is a farce. It's a joke, and I hate it. I hate it so much. But go on, John. Go on.
Or as Nadia would say with her accent. However, you can't build a big business that way. You're not going to build an empire in the nooks and crannies, treating it like a side hustle. I got a side gig, a little side hustle. No, I want you to treat it like an empire. You're building your dream team. You're building a real business. This is a willable, sellable asset. Now, of course, as long as the company doesn't go out of business like the last company that did us dirty.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it was funny. I was talking to someone the other day about this, and they're like, all these companies going affiliate. I'm like, there was 4, maybe 5, and that was a couple years ago. Now, have some other companies merged or going out of, sure. That's in every industry, by the way. That's in real estate. That's life insurance. You go out there and sell cars. There's car dealerships that'll buy other. That does happen. But
what other industries do they change their entire business model on how they are doing business? Let me holler at the ChatGPT to just see if we can snag some potential facts. Okay, I know it's going to take a while for it to gather up that information because that is a lot that I'm asking it for. But the thing is that this is a valid concern for any business to go out of business. But when you have a business model that is borderlining something that is illegal, and remember, the difference is not whether or not a product is sold. The difference is specifically recruitment. So if you have a business in which recruitment is inside the model, you are bordering on being illegal. Let's say that a restaurant starts and they have the legalities of following, food safe conditions, and they, fail something. They can easily fix that. when you are starting to be questioned on whether or not you're a pyramid scheme, you cannot fix that unless you dramatically change the way in which people make their money, which is the entire reason you're telling people to join your team. So let me read to you what ChatGPT said. And I wanted it to not only look at closures of course, larger brands, because there's going to be smaller ones that we just never heard about. We didn't hear about them opening. We didn't hear about them closing. I also wanted it to do a comparison from these 3 years, most recent, to the 3 years prior to that, to see if there is an increase. So this is what ChatGPT has to say. The question is only a few accurate? If someone means across the entire universe of tiny MLMs, they can always hand wave that a few is unknown because many disappear quietly. But if they mean recognizable mid to large brands that publicly announce changes, then in the last 3 years, we have already had 7 major examples, 4 pivots and 3 closures with solid sources, which is more than only a few. And it also looks higher than the prior 3-year window in terms of high profile affiliate pivots.
I love that.
So, John, more than a few have changed. And if you're looking at big, large ones, then yes, maybe you've got 2 handfuls, right? Which is more than the previous one. So it's increasing as time goes as there's more and more awareness about what these schemes look like. But in addition to that, you do not know. I guarantee you, John, you do not know the actual number of little ones like Nueva. All right. And remember, we're talking about Nueva not because it's big, not because it's popular, because of the drama for your mama around it, because of the Streisand effect, because of how these co-founders really started a pyramid scheme at the very beginning, in my opinion, and then tried to pivot to a MLM. Once again, I still think it's a pyramid scheme, but they didn't even have a product before they told everyone to join and tell everyone and get involved. They were strategic with when they asked you to put your money in, but still at the same time, they were setting it up as very much recruit to recruit to recruit to recruit with no product at all. Which once again, that doesn't determine the difference between an MLM and pyramid scheme. But still, that is a straight up scam-a-lam if you ask me. Let's let him continue.
With all that being said, I think this is the power of our business is you have the unlimited income potential, willable, sellable asset. Wake up when you're done sleeping, build the business of your dreams, do it with people you love, people that you want to help, people that, you help them, they help you. It's a win-win situation. You're literally partnered with people. I think this is the thing we sometimes forget. It's like, it's not just about you. It's about who you can help, who you can serve. And you may introduce someone like me, and I'm on your team. How many of you would be pretty excited if I was on your team? Right? I'm on your team. I build this multi-million.
I had just told myself that I was going to let him talk a little bit more because we always don't get very far because I keep yapping and don't let his yapping continue. However, I could not stop myself. The audacity of saying, wouldn't you be so happy if I was on your team? And no, John, I wouldn't want a big old scammer who's full of himself, who does nothing but continually tell people that they can make something where they can't just because you have. Someone who talks like a used car salesman.
What up, what up?
I can't. I just can't. How cocky, how...
$1 billion business, but you override everything I do. So it's not just about your time. Like in the beginning, of course it's about your time, your abilities, your production. You have to go build the business in order to have a business to override. And it did, look, I will say, it took me 7 years from the day I joined a network marketing MLM business, which was September 2001, to the day I fired my boss and went full time in network marketing. It took about 7 years. Part of that was because the first company I was in, it went out of business. So that was a lovely experience.
Oh, but it never happens. It never happens. But you've been in 2 in the last 20 years. I have been in 0 companies that have gone out of business associated with, or my family has been. Not a single one. And some of my family members work for very, very small businesses that are local. So you are already proving the point that this entire industry is on rocky ground, shaky ground, my guy.
got shut down. Then I got out of MLM, started doing mortgages, which you can see I got my
Oh, we're going to show the trophy. Oh,
President's
every
Club
time.
2004. Isn't that a badass trophy? It's a little dangerous though, a little sharp. I got Rookie of the Year. Anyway, I crushed it in mortgages. I made about $600,000 in 4 years because of what I learned in network marketing, work ethic, how to not make excuses, work your face off, 100 calls a day. I was on fire, but no residual, no leveraged income. I was only as good as my last month. So every month I had to start all over at what? 0. So that's what's so powerful about a business like this. It's like,
So this guy's talking about residuals again. Oh gosh. Now, when they talk about residuals in these type of businesses, they're talking about their downline working and them getting compensation from their downline. There are sales companies that do allow for a monthly reoccurring compensation plan from things like memberships, like a gym membership, for example. Maybe a salesperson would, for every single person who's still active that they originally signed up, they get like 5%, 2% of their monthly amount, whatever it is. And so over time, the longer that you work there, the longer that your automatic monthly is, and you don't have to do anything for that. I feel like there are more residuals in that, in your own work that you did, than just signing up someone, or not even signing up someone below you signing up someone. That's not based off the work you originally did. That's not something that's guaranteed. You still have to continue to come on here, John, and convince us all how we should be working it like a real job instead of a hobby. Like, you are still working, John, and apparently you are working all day every day. Okay.
Dave Silverman, the owner of National Fidelity Mortgage, he still owns it today. Great guy, got me a job, thank God, when I needed one. When I was like, Nadia was pregnant, and I'm like, I need to make money. And you're like, no other company would hire me because I didn't have a college degree. He did, thank God. But with all that being said,
you can get a sales job without a college degree. That is probably one of the best industries to go into if you don't have a college degree. I do not have a college degree, and sales was the first thing. I did it while I was in high school. I did it right afterwards. I did it for over a decade. However, did you just hear that? He said, what, the president or whatever of the company got him his job? He'd be knowing people. And another thing that he did not say, because he said, oh, I didn't have a college degree. You don't need that, once again, for a sales position. But what you do need is experience. And if he had 7 years, of which he is reportedly saying he's made little to no money in a 7-year period with MLMs. So now he's got a resume that says no job placement that he can hire. When typically you put it on a job placement, it says, who's your boss? What, are you going to put your upline's name? Like, that's not your boss because you own your own business. It's ridiculous. But I definitely think he is not stating the fact, which is it is very hard to get a job after you've been working in MLM full time because you have nothing to put on your resume.
I made a lot of money, but like I was only making money on my efforts. Does that make sense? Where when you look at Dave made money on the efforts of everybody. That's what you can build in network marketing.
If you're a sales manager, you make efforts on everybody. And you're doing something very similar to him. And a lot of times they are, depending on the sales industry, they are remote jobs where you are available when they need you to help you out, close a sale, help you out, get new customers, help you out with customer issues. So you're talking about sales and a remote sales manager position. That's like really all you're saying. Sorry, not sorry. And sales managers, they get compensation based off of the entire team's compensation most of the time because they're not working one-on-one with customers, but they get their bonuses and they get all that stuff based off of how much their team made and how much support that they could provide.
Marketing, you could enroll someone like who's on here. You could enroll someone like Kayla. You could enroll someone like Tara. They might be better than you. They might speak a different language than you. They might live in a different city, state, country, on a different continent. But they're on your team. So you better treat them well. You better bend over backwards to help them succeed. The reason you see some leaders...
Don't worry, it's not me. It's a different Kayla. In fact, she said, she commented, that's why I know it's a different one, at 5 minutes and 24 seconds, which is, we're at 8 minutes right now. It says, facts. Once I stopped treating it like a side hustle, my business 10 times. Okay. Whatever, Kayla.
Achieving massive success. Now, you could say, well, they got lucky. Maybe, sure. But typically you're only going to get lucky like once or twice. Like, you might get lucky with one good leg, maybe two. But if you're building an empire like we're talking about, you're going to have 4, 5, 6, 10 legs, 20 legs. Now, maybe like they're not all going to be front line necessarily. Like, you might enroll people and place people. And I know there's like all kinds of different comp plans out there, right? We have a 60-day holding tank. So, but I'm just saying, like, you wouldn't just say, I'm going to enroll 3 people and sit back and cash checks. I'm going to sit back and fingers crossed. I hope every time I enroll a new person, that's a new line. That's a new team I'm launching. Like this month, I've enrolled 2 or 3 people. Now, I'm not saying that like they're going to be like elites and they're going to build huge, but I'm going to treat them well. I'm going to bend over backwards to support them, help them, guide them, but also keep in mind they may do nothing. They may buy products one time and never buy products again. They may buy products, refer one person. That person becomes an elite leader. That person builds an empire. But the person that initially signed up quits. This does happen.
If you're a sales manager, just because we're comparing it right now, because I feel like it's the most similar thing to what he is saying, where you're getting money based off of other people's work. You're saying that you have a team where their work is going to help you out. If you're a sales manager, when you hire someone, you are getting their resume, you are going through a human resources department, and you are telling them you need to work and you need to, typically you have to meet certain numbers. There's like a minimum amount that you need to reach every single month in order for you to be doing your just job in general. And then you want to exceed that in order to obviously get recognition, get max payout, etc. But when you're in an MLM, you're just hoping and praying that that person's good, that that person has a money mindset to help you out. I don't think so. That sounds like a nightmare to me.
My sponsor in network marketing, he quit. I still love him. We're still friends. We still talk. But like, he's not in network marketing. Every dud knows a stud. Every dud can become a stud. With that being said, I don't want you to treat people like a number, but it is a numbers game. So I'm always going to keep recruiting, keep leading, keep bringing in new people. But I'm also treating.
He's saying the silent part out loud. He is contradicting himself the entire time. You can get residuals, but I'm going to keep going, keep going, keep going. You know why they have to keep going? Because just like the person who got him in pieced out. Because after years and years, in fact, there was something that I was reading earlier. This MLM girly put a post out there that was like, what are your thoughts on MLMs? And this lady said, I did it for years and years and finally realized that I was giving way more than I was getting.
I love that.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that after years and years and years of giving, paying, putting all of their time, energy, and effort and not getting paid.
Treating it like a business. Like, I keep track of every single person I talk to. I highlight them if they're an A player. I circle them if they join. I cross them off if they're a no. And no is not no forever. It's just no, not now. Treating it like a business. I'm responding to my messages throughout the day, especially like earlier in the day, 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, I'm not responding to messages like I am at 8 a.m. But that's because I treat it like a business. I work it like a real business. I'm crushing it during the day. I get my workout in. I do all the things. I do my follow-ups. I'm doing all the most important things that I have to do, that I want to do to grow my business. Leading from the front. I'm ATMing. I'm doing follow-ups. In fact, write this down. FAME. This is what we call the FAME formula. FAME. FAME formula. You should find at least in the beginning, remember, you got to have a business owner mentality. It takes 3 to 5 years for a traditional business to become profitable. In network marketing, you could be profitable.
That is such a lie. In fact, we just went through and we're reconciling all of our accounts, but we're profitable. So I don't know what he's talking about. We started a business from scratch less than 2 years ago. Yeah, this time would be almost exactly 2 years. All last year. Run our P&L. We're looking good. Thank you to my husband. Shout out to that man. He is the man. The man. In fact, I just put it on his desk. Beep, boop, boop, boop. We're doing just fine. Okay? So, and that is not just the average. It 100% depends on the type of business that you're opening. It depends on what is the overhead looking like. Do you need a brick and mortar, place initially? What are the costs associated initially, and how much can you get back initially? For example, I'm just going to put it out there. You've got a coffee shop you want to open. How many coffees do you have to sell to make back the initial investment of the down payment on a place, of all of the machines, right? That's a lot. Versus when you have a more service-based, obviously you can see we have a contractor, so we've got that style business. You typically are going to, in this style business, charge the customers the supply and the materials. And it's really your time and your expertise that you are, having to eat up initially. But it's not money per se, other than a potential few weeks of unpaid until you finish the job. But that's a few weeks. He's talking about 7 years before you see it. And he had to go into mortgages in order to provide for his family, his pregnant wife. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm not making anything. For over half of a decade, I've been struggling in this style business. Now let me make actual money. And for 4 years, he made $600,000 in an actual business, which is probably more than he even dreamed about making in that 7-year period with his freaking MLM that shut down. So he's a freaking liar, and he doesn't know anything. I know,
Profitable month 1, but you're treating it like a side hustle, like a thing, like a job, like a part-time gig. No, dude. You got to think long term. I'll give you an example. There's this guy, Sandro. I love using this example because he's only been in network marketing 5 years. And again, he joined like anybody else. He's just a distributor. Someone got lucky and freaking prospected Sandro. I should get him on my podcast. The dude is so sharp. He just wrote his first book. He's making supposedly like $600,000 a month. He just had his own event with 10,000 people. Y'all are thinking too small. I'm thinking too small. 10,000 people at his event. He launched some 90-day program. He's done $1 billion in sales in some.
Sandro probably has a great personality. Never seen him, but I can guarantee you he's got a great personality, attractive to some or something of that nature. Once again, I have no idea who this person is. He might have sales in his background. He might have connections that we don't have. There's so many factors that go into it. And he is painting Sandro, this person, to be just a normal Joe Schmo. He signed up just like everyone else. Sandro's got a je ne sais quoi that not everybody has. And that's okay. I hate that he paints it out like, once again, and they always do this, anyone can do it. When that's not true. It's just not true. And that's okay. It's okay.
Some perfume MLM. The dude is killing it. What a beast. Now, that's like the most extreme example. Some of you remember Jessie Lee, right? God rest her soul. I mean, that woman was relentless. One of the best I've ever seen. Like, there are people out there that have made 7 figures a month just as a distributor. Same business you're in. Meaning the same industry, same profession, same sort. Even if you're like, well, I wasn't in that company. It doesn't. All companies have that potential. It's unlimited. So treating it like a business versus a hobby versus a side hustle. Hobbies cost money. See, I play pickleball. It's a hobby. I ain't trying to get paid to play pickleball. Nobody's going to pay the John to play pickleball. It's a hobby. It's something to like get my steps in. It's social. It's fun. I love pickleball, but I'm not doing it to make money. If you're in a
I would have totally clocked him as a pickleballer. If you know, you know. There is just something about pickleballers. There's just something about them, which in rehab was the first time that I was ever introduced to it, and they were having so much fun. Some of my girlies, Gia, love Gia, they were getting in there too. Never played it before, and I was like, this is so cute and so fun. But there's something about them. Something about pickleballers.
business to make money, treat it like a business. So with that being said, you got to have a schedule, okay? Now, I have a physical planner. You may not, but let's say you have a job. I'm just going to talk to like a normal person. Let's say you have a normal job, 9 to 5. 9 to 5. When would you work your business? Now, remember, in the beginning, it is about you, but eventually the point is to create leverage. Like imagine if you had Sandro down one leg, you had Kayla, who's on here, right? Tara, and then you had me. These are your 4 people that you enrolled. Those are your 4 legs. Would you be excited? Now it's not just about your time. You could take a step back. We're still building our businesses. We're out there doing our thing, but you override us. You make money doing nothing. Now, somebody might not like that. Some people don't like that. It's like, my upline, da, 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 da. Who gives a crap what your upline? Your upline does not have anything to do with your volume, your rank, your check. Now, unless they're like sabotaging it, you have to just not fire your upline, as Eric Worre says. Go find some sideline brothers and sisters to work with. Go, look, don't work like, oh, my upline doesn't deserve to get paid on me. I've heard this so many times. Like, they're not even doing anything. Yeah, but that's the beauty. That's what we all signed up for. They can do what they want. They can make as little as they want, as much as they want. They can put as much into it or not. That's just the nature of the beast. With all that being said, 60 minutes a day. If you can't find 60 minutes a day, I think you're lying. I do. There's no way. Out of 24 hours, let's say you sleep for 8 hours. Maybe you really like sleep, use 10 hours. Okay, maybe you should wake up a little earlier. I don't know. But let's say you sleep for 10 hours. There's still 14 hours that you're not sleeping. So if you work your job for 8, then kids, dinner, whatever, let's throw in another 3, 8. There's still 3 hours left over.
I can't. I seriously can't. He's not including commute to your job. He's not including women need to get ready. I don't think you per se need to get ready. It depends on your job and what you're doing, obviously. For women to get ready, that's an hour, typically. If you're talking about washing, getting clothes on, putting makeup on, doing hair, like our hair gets crazy in the night, okay? So an hour, and then you usually have roughly an hour commute depending on where you work. You've got, to get all of your stuff ready, your lunch ready, etc. You got to put it in the car. That's all prepping for the commute. Then you got the actual commute. Then you got to find parking. Then you got to walk in. Like, I feel like it's fair to say an hour total for commute, 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. So he is saying that it's easy to find 60 minutes. And he is saying also that he's at a job for 8 hours. If you have been to a real 9 to 5 in the most recent time period, you know that you got to take a 30-minute to an hour break. Okay, but you required by law. Right, Jen? So you are not there for 8 hours. Plus, there's a usual commute. Unless you're working remote, which are getting less and less these days, you are traveling to and from, my guy. So that adds another potential hour on. So now instead of an 8-hour workday, you're looking at a 10-hour workday. John, when was the last time you had a real job instead of scamming people? Let's be honest. Sheesh. And then think about the extracurriculars. In fact, he was just saying his daughter's in volleyball. They have to spend an entire weekend going to a physical location. And sure, he's saying he can just do something inside the car. Because your job, John, is manipulating, being deceitful to people, talking to people. Most sales job, you need a professional environment in which to speak with in order for you to make actual money. And guess what, John? 99% of people are going to fail at what you do. So even though you tell them this is a great opportunity because you don't need to worry about a professional atmosphere in order to work in, that's because 99% of people fail. My guy? Okay? Or as Aaron B says, little guy.
You can find 60 minutes. 60 minutes, fame formula. You ready? Follow up, ATM, marketing, expand your network. That's it. Those 4 things. Drop the word fame in the comments if you want our free download. We have a free download, this 60-minute fame formula. It's basically the. Now listen, you're not going to build a big business only working an hour a day. It's a start. It's the beginning. For the first year, let's just say for the first year, you just work it for 60 minutes a day. Now, I guarantee you're going to work it more than that because all of y'all are on your phone for more than 60 minutes. Go into your settings. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere in the settings. It will tell you how much time you spend on your phone. And I guarantee it's hours every day. Might be 7, might be 2, but it's more than an hour. So are you consuming content or are you creating content?
So let me get this straight. He's telling us to work another 7 hours on top of our normal time we work. When at the very beginning, he just compared it to, you couldn't pay me enough to work that much to not spend time with my friends and family. And now he's allotting only 3 hours to your friends and family. Okay, John. Okay. All right.
In the scroll hole, or are you messaging people you need to start inviting every day? This sitting back, waiting on people, attraction marketing, I'm just going to post and pray. No, you got to invite. You got to invite. Look, again, let me talk to those of you that want a big check. You want to make how many of you want to make five? Let me know in the comments. 5 figures a month. 5 figures a month. If you want to make 5 figures a month, a full-time income.
Then don't join an MLM.
Maybe you only need $5,000 a month. Okay. But whatever it is, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 a month. Maybe you want to make 100,000 a month eventually. You need to start treating it like a business. There's no scenario where someone would say, I want to make 10 grand a month and I'm just going to work it an hour a day. But in the beginning, hour a day. So you set a timer.
So he is now admitting that you can't just work an hour. You have to work a lot more than that. And remember, 99%, no matter how hard they work, no matter how many hours they spend doing this BS, if you ask me, they're going to make next to nothing in return.
You ready? Set a timer. You set a timer. Because you need to build up habits. You understand? Like, I don't need timers. I don't need any, but this is what I've been doing for 24 years. Years. Long time. Some of you have been doing it for 24 days, 24 hours, 24 months. Not the same. Not the same. Okay. 15-minute timer. Follow-ups.
How does he make that?
Again, I have my follow-up book. Look, if you want to go to our resources page, mylifestyleacademy.com/resources. mylifestyleacademy.com/resources. We have the download to make a follow-up book. So you can have a follow-up book just like this, okay? It's a template. You print it off. You take it to Kinko's, Office Max. They make this little, see it? See how it works?
We were just informed that Kinko's was absorbed by FedEx by one of the amazing commenters, I don't know how long ago. But the fact that he's saying Kinko's, I mean, honestly, having a printer these days, you might as well be a millionaire if you want a printer. Sheesh, the amount of ink costs, paper costs, it's insane. And the amount of times the printer just doesn't even want to do anything. It says, no thank you. It's just another grift for him. Another grift. And they always do this. They always do this. Once inevitably their money starts going down because people start catching on, they're not making any more, they're not growing, they're not whatever, and sometimes they start losing. Guess what happens? They got to find another grift to make money because they don't want to go work a 9 to 5. They don't want to do it, okay? So they start selling My Lifestyle Academy, where they tell you that even though you too inevitably will fail and make no money, that they'll help you with that secret sauce, the special sauce that will get you to make money with this. When in all actuality, they're just trying to get money from you. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. And you might find some of their stuff helpful, whatever. Guess what? You could find that online for free, number one. Number two, this business model is literally relying on the bottom people to be there with no downline. There will always be people with no downline. It's like literally unfeasible, not possible, for there not to be a downline where people don't have people underneath them. Because if they do have someone underneath them, then that person doesn't have a downline, right? Does that make sense? It will always go and go and go and go until you hit that bottom and they have nobody underneath them. That means they're making no money at all. So it requires people to lose money in order for there to be success up above.
That's it. That's also where the fame formula is. So again, 15 minutes on follow-up. Then you spend 15 minutes on inviting. What are we doing if we're not inviting? If you're not inviting, I get kind of irritated only because I believe in you. I know what you could do with this business if you just get out of your own way. You're overthinking it. Okay, let me prove it to you. You ready? You ready? How many of us want to be proven wrong and me proven right? Let me help you. Okay. How many?
Proven. You want to talk about proving something? I've got facts and statistics. Take the FTC down below, who has looked at over 600 companies that have adopted the same model that your company, Nueva, has, John. And guess what? The facts say, the proven facts say, that you are deceitful, deceptive with your business practices and how much people make, and the majority of participants are going to make little to no money.
I love that.
Don't tell me about proven, John Melton. I don't want to hear it.
How many friends do you have on Facebook? Tell me right now. Tell
None
me.
of your business.
Tell the truth. And then how many followers? Friends, followers, or you just do the total?
Are there even followers on Facebook? That's weird.
Let's just say you have 1,000 friends. Okay? Would you be excited if you signed up 100 out of 1,000? If you signed up 100 people into your business, maybe some of them are customers, some of them are distributors, doesn't matter. 100 out of 1,000. Would you be excited? That means you have to go get 900 no's. Do you see the mindset? I would almost tell some of you to only spend an hour a day just inviting. Because even if they all say no, you've just planted 100 seeds or 50 seeds, whatever it was. 50 seeds that now you're going to water. Why? Because you're going to stay in touch and be a good human. You're going to be a good human. You're going to stay in touch. You're going to put out valuable content, which is an indirect way of watering those seeds. You're going to stay in touch, wish happy birthday, ask them how they're doing, periodically check in once a month, twice a year, whatever.
I can't with this man. I can't with this man. He is actively telling you to be their friend just so you can inevitably get money out of them. What a disgusting friend. Would you want a friend like that? I sure freaking wouldn't.
With all that being said, this is a mindset conversation, but it really is a take action conversation, because if you're not inviting people every single day, what are you doing? You're not really in a business. If you're not inviting people, like, what are we even talking about? Show me any business in the world where you could make a lot of money without, like, sales specifically, without doing like sales presentations, without having anybody looking at what you're selling. I mean, it's probably common sense. It should be, at least, unless you're such a beast. You are such a beast that you have so many people in your inbox, you can't even keep up. If you're at that point, you're in the top 1% of the 1%. But even those people would do better if they also reached out to people every day. So I digress. You got 1,000 friends. You got to go get 900 no's.
So what we know is that in order for this to be profitable, you need to work. But the fact of the matter is that the chances of you being profitable is zilch. So I'm going to use Modera's income disclosure statement for this, their 2022 one. And the bottom two ranks, which make up 84.42%, and based off of him saying you have to work an hour a day, let's just say that these people are just working the 1 hour a day because they're not making the thousands, right? They made $3.53. $3.53, and it's over the tax threshold, which means they would have to pay taxes on that. So let's times it by 0.7%, $2.50 an hour. That extra hour. What would you do with an extra hour of your day for $2.50? I think if people could buy time, and that was how much an hour was, they would be buying plenty of it. Okay, John? Your whole hour per day does not make sense. When you add that up over 365 days per year, you're looking at 365 hours. And the majority of people, the money that they make from it, even just that hour per day, is not worth it. $2.50. That is a fraction of minimum wage. Federal minimum wage. I almost always compare the higher ranks to, like McDonald's in California. But the lowers are always so low that they're always below federal minimum wage. Insanity. But yeah, go keep working your hour long. Keep being shamed for the amount of time that you spend on your phone. If I looked at my time, it would look crazy because I fall asleep listening to YouTube videos. So I never go off of that. And I'm almost always listening to music videos. I almost always have an AirPod in my ear. Well, technically they're like the generic kind because my dog chews them up. It's not worth it to have anything expensive in this house. Okay, no thank you, ma'am. Anywho, let's let him continue. I'm so sick of him. Oops.
To get 100 yeses. The 100 yeses are not going to be from the first 100 you reach out to. In fact, the first 100 people you invite, they might be all a part of the 900 that say no. Are you going to keep going, or are you going to be weak sauce? Make excuses. I learned this very early on. You can make money or make excuses, but you can't do both. Choose wisely. So with that being said, follow-ups?
I really don't like this guy. I really don't like the way he talks to people. I really do not like him. Are you going to make excuses? Are you going to be weak sauce? No, my sauce is delicious, John. Because why? It says truth. It protects consumers. It's not selling them and deceiving them into this lie that you tell them if they talk to 900 people. When was the last time that you talked to that many people and it took you only an hour a day? Never, 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 ever. 900 people to get your 100 is insanity. It really is. And yes, I have probably talked to 900 in my grand scheme of working for sales companies. Absolutely. But I was getting paid hourly. So even if they got nothing from me, all these no's that you're talking about, I made money, honey. But your people, if they get a no, they make zilch, zero, nothing. And yes, there are other occupations, once again, like real estate, that you're not going to make any money if you don't do anything. Like, that is true, okay? But they're going in full well with the knowledge. Full well. They've got the education behind them. They've got the knowledge behind them. They know what the market saturation looks like. They can look up on their real estate, blah, 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 Zillow, whatever. You know, they've got a fancy back end one. I forgot what it was called. But they know what they're up against. They know how many other real estates exist because they know how many people have gotten their licensure. What he is doing, what he is saying, I can't. Weak sauce. I mean, come on. Insulting your people? Knock it off, John.
You're like, who am I following up with? The people that you've been ATMing. So this part, ATMing, inviting is really what it is. You're adding people to the group, tagging them in the video, setting up chats with your upline. Okay. Then the third piece is marketing. Marketing really could just be a quick post. It could be a quick reel. If you're spending more than 15 minutes, write this down. Set a timer. You're editing your little reel and you're putting little captions on there. Set a time, 15 minutes. That's it. You want to do a live video? 15 minutes. That's it.
The pause he has when he says, write this down. What I have to say is so incredible. Set a timer. Make sure that you're not spending astronomical amount of time on a post. He just admitted to one post taking 15 minutes. That's true, but that is insane. For $0. And guess what? You're rubbing everyone the wrong way. Nobody likes those posters. Nobody likes you. Sorry, not sorry. When you are constantly spending your time and filling up our pages with crap you want to sell to us, we don't like to see it. Unless you are a part of his downline, which are all these people putting fame in the comment, fame, oh gosh, guys, this is, I don't know how many more John videos I can make. He is just the worst.
It should not take you more than 50. I'm spending hours every day creating content. Okay, cool. How's that working for you? It's not. Okay, got it. So you're spending hours. Do you see why I get so mad? And it's only mad because I care about you guys. You understand? You're spending hours a day making content. What if you spend hours a day inviting people? Do you know the only reason that we're creating content is to attract people to us that we can invite? What are you doing? Look, click on the link in my bio. That is an influencer, and even go talk to an influencer. Ask them how well that's working for them. It's not. Except for like the really top tier people. But even those top tier people, I guarantee they're also responding to DMs, answering questions, building and nurturing relationships. This is the deal. This is a very different time in networking.
You know who makes money from creating lots of content? YouTubers. Why? Because they're creating something that's educational or entertaining or both. Okay? That is when they make money. Do I make any money? Absolutely not. I'm not saying every YouTuber makes money no matter how many hours they put in. In fact, I'm in my own little MLM all on its own by, making content. The thing is, though, I'm not trying to get rich off of it. I don't care. I just enjoy doing it. You can call it my hobby, even though it takes hours and hours of time. Most hobbies do take hours and hours of time. But I enjoy it. I have fun with it, right? So, for him to say that, though, is absolutely incorrect. Do a small amount of YouTubers actually make money? I would say, actually, if you look at a mass majority of people who actually put time, energy, and effort into it, and they're consistent with it, they do end up making, some amount of money over time, but they also have to have that je ne sais quoi, which, I don't really have over here. Sorry, no sorry. I'm just me. I'm not trying to impress nobody. But with that being said, let's let him continue with his shenanigans.
Marketing. It's probably the weirdest network marketing era I have been in. Why? Because it's almost like the old school strategies are becoming new school. It's like a lot of these teams that are in momentum, they're going back to doing the in-person thing. Maybe it's weekly events, weekly or monthly meetings, or they're getting on the phone. Like I was on the phone yesterday with a leader for 90 minutes. She's awesome. Now, whether or not she ends up doing this and blowing it up, I don't know. But I'm getting on another call here in 30 minutes. Why? Because I want to get on the phone with people. We're doing a big event in a few weeks in Orlando. After that, we'll have some other event at some point, probably in the summer, in the fall, like events in person. We have a leadership retreat in May, getting with people. Monthly events, leadership retreats, corporate events, like whatever. Maybe you have a local team you're building. You got to get out of your house. You got to get on the phone. You got to get offline. I love the internet. I love social media. I want all of you to build an online business, but...
Did he just tell people to be on their phones practically 24/7, and now he's like, get off your phone and go meet with people? And a huge reason I think people are stepping back from the online thing is because they're tired of being scammed.
We can admit that there are a lot of people that are not on social media as much, or it's like their whole news feed is being dominated by negativity and politics and Epstein and all this nonsense. Like, we got to sometimes just get people off of social, right? Generate the lead from social.
Guys, he just said the Epstein files was nonsense. I don't care at all about anyone's beliefs, blah, blah, blah. If you think that hurting children in that way is okay, and not wanting to know everything you possibly can about who, I'm going to sound like an owl, who, what, when, where, why, and how are they not locked the heck up? And you call that nonsense? Ooh, John. He's got a teenage daughter and he don't care. Human trafficking is very much still a thing. Very much still going on. Oh my God, my stomach just dropped when he said that. You are disgusting, John. Once again, we have a repeat of Mr. Tony Zalecki over here. Forget about important, valuable, current events that have an effect on how we go about as a society moving forward. Forget about that and just go and sell your stuff to everybody. Just go bug them in person, trap them. Have you ever heard any of those horror stories where it's like they went out on a coffee date and they thought they were so excited because it was a new friend or a dating, prospect, and instead they get there and they're just like stuck. They feel trapped, and that person just going on and on about this couple that they met that's so successful. I can't. And because I've recently, for another video, been looking at tons of policies and procedures of what these people can say. They are specifically told you cannot do income disclosures. You cannot, income disclosures can also be retire your husband. That can be an income disclosure that is incorrect. All of their policies and procedures say you cannot do this in person as well as online. The difference is that online we have a record of it, whereas in person, they don't. They can be way more sneaky in person. I need people to start saying yes to these people and recording them. I don't know if I could do that. I couldn't do that. Ugh.
Add them to a group and say, hey, do you want to hop on a call? Map out a plan. Maybe you're launching a new team, launching a new business. Hop on a Zoom with those 3, 4, 5 new people to have them all working together. Set up a chat. They all work together. And then say, hey, guys, in 3 weeks, we're all going to be at this big event. You should come. You got to come if you're serious. Look, you want to be a lawyer, you got to go what? Law school. You want to be a doctor, you got to go to what? doctor school, right? Med school. You want to be a millionaire in network marketing? You're like, I don't want to go to an event. Like, what are you talking about? It's not like you're moving somewhere. You're not going to live somewhere else. It's just one weekend. It's one weekend. It's maybe 3, 4, 5 events a year. You want to make the kind of...
They don't want to go because that will literally cost them quadruple the amount, bare minimum, that they make an entire year with this company. On the just hopes and dreams and it fires them up. No, you need customers. You need more reps coming in. And eventually people are going to be sick and tired of it and they don't want to join because of market saturation. And because of their knowledge that this is not profitable.
Money a lawyer makes, and they go to years of law school. You want to make the kind of money doctors make. And by the way, they don't just make a lot of money, they also work their face off. Like they're never home. They're 100 hours a week, 80 hours a week, right? Like they have no residual. They stop working, they stop getting what? Paid.
100 hours a week is 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. That means you only had 10 hours to yourself. They're not working 100-hour weeks, my guy.
So in a business like this, when you have the unlimited income potential and you're thinking long term, but then you're also focused on those daily activities, follow-ups, ATMing, marketing for 15 minutes, don't spend more.
And think about how they're helping people. Think about that. Think about how they're genuinely, doctors are saving people's lives. Lawyers are saving people's lives and livelihoods. I can't.
15 minutes on creating a video, going live, especially when you're part-time. I'm talking to the part-timers. I'm talking to those of you that want to build a full-time income, but you're still on a part-time basis. And then what's this one? Expanding your network. You have to be expanding your network. Like, go engage. That's the other E. Go engage on everybody else's posts. Go engage and respond to people's stories. Go into groups and make some friends. Go leave some thoughtful comments and go send some friend requests and ask questions and answer questions and go into some groups with like-minded people. You might say, what kind of groups? I don't know. What are you into? Like, I'm in some pickleball groups now. I'm too big.
Okay, just think about this, though, for a second. He's shaming people for being on their phones too much, and yet he is essentially telling people to just go on social media and be themselves with the ulterior motive of wanting all those people's money. But that's what he's saying. He's saying, I mean, that's what I do. I engage with my friends. I go, hey, girly pop, what you doing? And I don't want anything from them other than to just know that they're doing okay and having a good day and maybe making their day a little bit better because, I talk to them or whatever, but not because I'm trying to sell them a business opportunity where you make $0 per hour.
Busy to spend time in those pickleball groups, but if I did, I bet you I'd make a lot of new friends. What are you into? Do you love hiking? Go join some hiking groups. Like, the bottom line is 15 minutes every day engaging with your network, expanding your network, attracting and connecting with new people. This is a major key. But again, this is 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15. That's 60 minutes in a day. You can't tell me you can't find 60 minutes. But again, 15 minutes on follow-up, 15 minutes on inviting, 15 minutes on marketing, and 15 minutes on expanding your network or engaging with your existing network. And then back to what I said earlier, having long-term vision. It doesn't matter what you make the first month, the first year. That's job mentality. It's weak sauce. It does not matter. Let's say this. Let's say you lose money like I did the first 2 years in network marketing. Like, how'd you lose money? Because we did offline. We had to spend a fortune to get leads because there was no social media. I had to actually call people that I did not know, and we had to pay money to get access to those phone numbers through a resume database. I mean, I'm not even going to get into all the things we did back then because I can hardly remember, but there was a lot of expenses. There was events. We had to pay desk rent. I had to pay.
So he's creating excuses as to why he lost money, which he says now 2 years. He's also said 7 years before. Regardless, he's creating excuses for it. But the fact of the matter is it's still going on, John, because a requirement of MLMs is to purchase the products. There are a couple MLMs, like insurance MLMs and things like that, where you don't per se have to purchase the products, but you do have to purchase. Usually they'll have monthly, what do they call it, fees, technology fee and a website fee and like all of these things. So they're still paying in. If you get 100,000 people to be paying into that, the initial cost, the monthly fees, etc., that company is making millions of dollars. And although you might be losing, the company is ultimately making. Insane. And what's the weak sauce? What a horrible, like, tagline or whatever. Like, lame. Your weak sauce is weak sauce.
Pay for an office phone. I had to buy business clothes that I didn't have. I was waiting tables on the weekends. Thank God I was living at home with my parents. But I lost money. I spent more money than I made the first 2 years. Show me any business in the world that's profitable right out of the gate. Like traditional business. You start a restaurant. 90% of the restaurants fail. 90% of realtors that get a license never sell a house. The odds are against you. But isn't that so much better to chase a dream, to pursue purpose and impact and limitless potential than to just go, I'm just going to exchange time for dollars?
You know what's limitless is when you invest that money. You can invest it in CDs, you can invest it in, Roths, traditionals, whatever you want, any kind of IRA. And obviously those are for when you retire, but still, what's the ultimate goal? And there are tons of ways in which you can invest your money and watch it grow for you and save. Even, once again, my husband and I got completely out of debt, purchased our cars outright, purchased another car outright, like did all of that stuff, own our home, all that stuff, when we were both making $20 an hour. We just realized that we were spending way too much on frivolous stuff. And that's when I got into an entire mindset of minimalism, the amount that these companies spend on trying to get you to buy stuff, the actual science that goes into merchandising, where it's located, how you have to walk through Target to get to their seasonal department, like all of that stuff. Every little inch of it. They have departments that they spend millions on in order to get you to spend your money. Why? Because it's profitable for them. Because we keep buying stuff and they keep profiting. And I just said, I don't want to buy anything more. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I will buy only what I need, and that is all, and be happy with it. And guess what? Totally happy with it. But the entire, selling point is that it's limitless and like you're going to make so much money. But the truth is, the real truth, if every time he says limitless income potential, he says a 99% failure rate, 99% you lose money. If he said that, how many people would he draw in? Think about it. No, everyone would be like, well, I know my odds. That is not in my favor. You could freaking get better odds playing roulette on black and red. That's 50-50, my guy. Do not gamble.
And then when I come home in the evening, make some dinner, watch some Netflix and chill, #lame. You're going to go watch other people.
How is that lame? You think being a skeezy, slimy, nasty person is awesome. I don't think I'll take advice of what a good life is from someone who thinks and spends their time doing this. I don't think so. Nah. Now, what I think is lame is having to be on your phone all the time, talking to people that you don't know, that you're not going to build large, substantial, quality relationships with just to get their money. I think that that's lame. I think that's weak sauce. Okay? No, thank you. And most importantly, if you get a job that you do enjoy, that makes enough for you to live on comfortably, not paycheck to paycheck once you save and all that stuff, that's a great life. You do something impactful for the community every day. You are contributing to society every single day. You are making an impact. You helped people. And then you go home at night and you make a delicious meal and you watch your favorite show with your spouse and you hang out with your kids, play a little board game. Sounds great to me. And let's switch this idea of what is an amazing life and start enjoying the lives that we have and acknowledging that a mass majority of people live the exact same lives. What the difference between someone who's miserable and someone who's not is someone whose outlook is different. This is the mindset, guys. This is the mindset. No, for real, it is. A mindset of being grateful and thankful and just appreciating what a 9-to-5 does. Every single person who works a 9-to-5, the person who works at Walgreens, they're contributing. They're helping me by checking me out, by helping me find where the cough medicine is for, a small child. Like, they're helping me out. And I very rarely go on like holidays and stuff like that. But every single one of those people, if I ever do, I'm like, thank you so much for being here today, for allowing me to be able to check out, to get the stuff that I need to continue living my life. But you contributing in this way. We need people in society helping from the smallest things to the largest things. Every time I get a meal, that chef, that waiter, the owner helping to make that possible, they are incredible. And I just... The quality and the meaning behind working a 9-to-5 is so lost on these people. Just so incredibly lost. And I think there's another thing to be said for being a good consumer too. Not being a Karen. Okay? And, just constantly being thankful that people are working. Thankful that people are out there doing big things. Once again, you saw that we're roughly in that style business, and I try to keep as much of that stuff private as possible in case, one of these tons comes and finds me and tries to come after me. But my husband is so excited every single time that a customer says, we'll get handwritten notes, literal handwritten notes that say, thank you so much for what you did. That is so beautiful. He helps a lot of times little old ladies living alone. Women always live longer. And they're like, thank you so much for helping in this way. And he is just like, this is the best thing ever. I have my tireless days, my calls whenever, because as an entrepreneur, you get calls all the time. It's worth it because I got to help little old Miss Susie May, okay, Miss Ruth. But I got to help them with something that they could not physically accomplish on their own. And if he wasn't working, if instead he spent time trying to convince people to buy bull crap that doesn't work, that's not FDA regulated, that doesn't do anything, the fruits and vegetables couldn't, then in that case, he wouldn't be able to help people in that meaningful, impactful way.
People live their dream. That's what you're doing when you're watching movies.
I'm living
That's
my
what you're
dream.
doing when you're watching. I love shows. I probably see more shows than all y'all.
We're currently watching, I'm like, let's just chit chat, guys. My favorite show that I'm watching right now is My Hero Academia. I'm a big anime girly pop. I think it's because it's less stressful for me. Like the ones with like real people, I don't know. It just gets so stressful. I don't like it. But my husband, of course, wanted to watch the new Game of Thrones series, and no, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, he's having to literally like trick me into watching it. He's like, oh, it's on. And your hands are full. You can't do anything about it. And I'm like, Anyway, let's keep going.
We have. But I didn't start really watching shows and all that until I was making literally, I don't want to say millions, but hundreds of thousands a year. I literally didn't watch anything for like a decade because I had a dream, a goal, a vision, a purpose, right? Watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. That's cool. You're watching other people live their dream. Watching me, to some extent, you're watching me live my dream. Go build yours. Treat it like a business. 1 hour a day. You can't tell me you can't find an hour a day. Every day. Including Sunday? Let me tell you this. If you're not doing anything on Saturday and Sunday, your competition is. You're competing with people like me. I'm talking to everybody.
What an unhealthy work-life balance. What an extremely unhealthy, and that is horrible for the psyche. So in Japan, there's a widely recognized term for overwork, workplace stress leading to one not wanting to be here anymore. It's called karojisatsu, and which totally pronouncing it wrong. But this overwork, oh, you need to work Saturday and Sunday because someone else is. This competition with pretty much hundreds of thousands of people is not healthy, in my opinion. That's not healthy. And even when I was in sales, like, sure, there'd be friendly competition, but you weren't like competing for the same people because you had someone in front of you. That's the person that you're working with. Nobody else is working with them. Every once in a while, they don't like you. They'll go to someone else, or you just weren't there that day and they didn't realize the impact that the commission has, etc., whatever. But for the most part, you're not competing with other people. This high competition, this hours upon hours, this entire decade of not watching recreational TV just because you're working so hard is so unhealthy. And cool for John that his mental load could handle that he's not weak sauce. But guess what? A lot of people need that downtime to relax, to get some endorphins, to relieve that stress level in their brain. And so yeah, this is insane to me.
Competing with leaders in other companies. You're competing with people that are putting out content 3 times a week. It's really hard to compete if you have this job mentality. I put in work today. I want to get paid today. Go get a job. Network marketing. Listen, again, I lost money the first 2 years. It took me 7 years to crack a 6-figure income, 16 years to become a millionaire. So when you complain to me after 16 weeks, 16 months, I laugh because I'm like, dude, you have no idea. And I want to be empathetic, but I have a tough time sometimes because I know what I had to do and the crap that I've dealt with. Lawsuits, drama, betrayal. Not 1, not 2, but 3 companies shut down on me. The one I left tried to sue me and ruin my life. Kept going, kept showing up. My mom died, kept showing up. Now I did take a couple weeks off, but kept showing up. When we had to put Toby down, kept showing up. Toby, our oldest dog that we had to put down a couple years ago. It was the worst thing. Between Toby and my mom, worst thing. And then Mo Dare shuts down and then kept showing up.
So in John's last company, where I'm sure he said a majority of these things, again, because what he's saying has nothing to do per se with Nueva. It's just in general. So I can only assume that he has been saying these things for years, and I'm pretty sure we have a record of that, of other creators, doing content on him. So Modare's old income disclosure statement with it had an average of all, including outliers. So this is a very skewed number. So even if you had all of their amount, which they said was a total of $261 monthly, making that $3,132 per year. Once again, that is not the amount of made on average that 86% of their company made. But they would have to work 319 years in order to become a millionaire. That's the average person. So once again, he's trying to make you feel like you're not average. We're all average, my guy, and it's okay. It's okay to be average. It's okay to not have the special sauce, as he would say. I'm just so tired of him.
Kept doing videos, kept doing posts, kept leading. Why? Because what else am I going to do? Go boo-hoo in the corner? Go back to mortgage sales? No, thank you. You understand? To me, it's like the vision, the dream.
He just pooped on mortgage sales when he boasted about how much money he made and made sure to show us the trophy. And that is not the first time he's done that. So he is so proud of the work that he's done, but then poo-poos it? Interesting.
The goal. Sure, sometimes you got to change the vehicle. But then also there's people that change the vehicle every 6 months. And it's like, this person is either horrible at making decisions or they have no clue what they're doing. Watch out for those people, by the way. The quick cash people. I saw another crypto MLM got shut down. Shocker. Every single one. Let me say it again. Every single one is a scam. Every single one. People go, no, this one's different. Every single one of them says that. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Listen.
Every single one of these MLMs is a scam because it requires, if there's a focus on recruitment, it requires a large downline who is making no money in order to feed into the top. Him just going off about a scam on crypto when he is running a scam on it itself, he is just the difference between a blatant scam and a regular scam. And this is a tactic that they use. This is seen all across the board, is if you say something else is a scam, don't do it. It makes a trust in you and what you're doing better. Like, oh, this couldn't possibly be a scam because he's calling something else a scam. No, John, what you're doing is a scam. All of them are a scam. Every single one of them. Sheesh Louise.
There's no such thing as easy money. Easy, sleazy. You know, I've said this a gajillion times. I want you to build a real business, and I know what you're capable of because I know what I was capable of, but no one, I shouldn't say no one believed in me. I did have a couple upline that believed in me, but I don't think they even knew how big we were going to get. And part of it was a little bit of luck too. We were at the right place at the right time. We saw the social media thing and we jumped on it fast, quick. In fact, one of the things we're going to talk about at our convention when Nadia and I speak on stage is about AI and the future of AI and what's happening. I mean, you can either be afraid of it or embrace it, right? It's just like people that were negative. My upline at the time in 2012 was so negative about social media. I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, he'd do these like passive aggressive comments on these leadership calls about people wasting their time on social media. And I'd be like, dude, is he talking about us? We're actually starting to attract people and recruit people from social media, dum-dum. But again, it's like, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to fight with anyone. I'm just going to go work with positive, awesome people. I'm going to be cool with everybody, but I'm going to go find the ones that want to build a business.
I just remembered the fact that he is, once again, throughout this entire thing, totally contradicting himself. You know, he said just a handful, just a couple, a few of the companies went to affiliate or went out of business. And once again, he's named just a few in the time that he's worked that he was directly connected to. In addition, he's named another crypto one. I mean, and this is just a common theme. You know, do you want flexibility and be able to work? Oh, also you have to work 24/7, Saturday, Sunday. Like every single thing they do is a contradiction of itself because why? It's a scam. They're selling something that doesn't exist. They're selling something that the average person does not accomplish. And they're painting it in a way that is convenient for them. And the difference between John Melton and someone else, the reason why he was so successful is he's good at painting a picture. He's good at talking to people. He's good at that. So even if you do contact 900 people, like he said, if you don't have that suave, if you don't have his used cars salesman, mentality and vibe, you most likely will not. Sorry, not sorry.
They want to partner up and build something significant. Is it hard? Yeah. It's hard to be broke. It's hard to get rich. Pick your hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather build something that has the potential to give me freedom, not just income, but freedom. The potential isn't there in 99% of the income opportunities out there. Like, again, go get a real estate license, right? I know some people, we have people in our business that are in real estate. Yes, you can make...
They always compare it to real estate. They always do. But there are huge, substantial differences between them, which we've already discussed. And yes, I would not per se recommend for the average person to get into real estate. Sorry, no sorry. But that's coming from someone who knows nothing. I don't be knowing anything. But that seems, not a viable opportunity unless you've got some really special ins and things of that nature. Regardless, he just said the 99%. He just said 99% of money-making opportunities are not going to work. So what makes yours different, John? What makes Nueva different? Because you're not selling that much. You're selling products that are crap. They're not FDA approved. Their ingredients are lackluster. In fact, a lot of them, when on human studies, don't look so cutesy. I'm about to end it in a second, even though there's 20 minutes left, because he's just repeating himself at this point.
Make a lot of money, but you're going to be hustling. Weekends? No, you have no more weekends. Evenings? Yeah, good luck with that. Lots of stress, lots of competition, and you might go months without getting paid. No, thank you. But would you agree? Some of the most successful people are in real estate. You guys like Ryan Serhant? Do you follow him? We've been following the show Million.
He's comparing about how real estate people don't have to work nights or have to work nights and weekends. But he just said you're going to have to work Saturdays and Sundays and you're going to have to go years without getting paid. So what's the difference, John? Please tell me. I'd love to know. Because I'd rather get a fat, $5,000, $10,000 paycheck than your measly little $100, $200. Yeah, no thanks.
$1 million listing for I don't know how long they were. I think it was like 2015. It's like a decade, maybe a little less than that when the show They stopped making new shows for New York, Million Dollar Listing, and then Ryan started his own show on Netflix, and it's so good. But the point is, that dude does not sleep. He does not work. Like, they work 24/7, these people. So,
oh, I had no idea he knew this person's everyday schedule. What you see on those shows is not accurate. It's literally made for entertainment. So he sounds honestly kind of dumb right now for stating what he thinks some other person does and how hard they work. He probably has a team of people and he just chills. Like, I don't know. Once again, I'm very transparent about what I do and don't know.
whether you want to make a lot of money in this type of business or another business, it's all going to take a lot of work. What I like about this type of business, network marketing, direct sales, MLM, whatever you want to call it, social selling, social retail, doesn't matter. There's a residual component where you can stop working, still get paid. Stop working, still make money. I had people in my last company. Now, you could say, oh, your last company went out of business. That was a failure. I mean, I guess. But it's not like we didn't get to keep all the money we made. Like, we made $15+ million and did some really smart things with that money investment-wise. So, yeah, it sucks it went out of business, but it would have sucked more to stay in the other company I was in, making jack you-know-what. Actually, the company before that got shut down by the FTC. It's just crazy.
Are we serious? How many times is he going to tell us that his company got shut down? And he just said it right there by the FTC. Link is down below. Bookies be telling you, you are skating on a very thin ice when you are joining one of these companies, because the companies themselves, in my opinion, are against the law if their focus is on recruitment. Illegal. The sad part is that they need a lawyer to get involved. You need lots of different cases. You need actual evidence. You need the FTC to be involved. It's a lot for the FTC to do. It's a smaller portion of the government, department, whatever. Regardless, though, this guy is hilarious.
It's amazing how, like, the worst thing that can happen to you becomes the best thing, like the ultimate blessing in disguise. But my point is, in that last company, we had people that were 4, 5, 6 years of residual monthly checks doing absolutely nothing. They would always come to the escape trips. I noticed that. They didn't miss those, but they did nothing else.
So, and he's not wrong. There are some people at the tippity top of companies because they got in at a very, very, very beginning. I don't know when Modera started, but a lot of those companies, you can see, I'll look up like top reps, like I'll do a little research behind them, and they've got like 1,000 people on their Facebook. They have no social media presence whatsoever because their download is just working for them. That is like maybe 10 people in the whole company. The rest of them have to work like John does. They have to constantly be recruiting because people are constantly falling off because they're realizing they're not making any money. So they constantly have to get in new people to buy the new starter kit.
You have to admit that's kind of cool. Now, you might say, well, that's not fair. That's not fair. They didn't even show up to... That's the business. They launched it. They brought in some good people. Those people continue to build their businesses because it's their business.
It's a pyramid
and the
scheme.
upline was benefiting. Now, in some cases, the downline made more than the upline. Sometimes the upline made money doing nothing. That's the business. That's the beauty. Now, I don't want any of you to stop working your business, but isn't it nice to know you could and you'd still get paid? Try that at your job. Hey, guys, I think I'm going to take the next year off. Good luck with that. I mean, sure, you could do it, but they're not going to pay you. In fact, they're going to fire you. Yes? Yes. This is the only business.
That is not true. If you are an entrepreneur, a real one, and you get competent enough people to run the business, you have to remember that you are free, if you will. Right? So if you are working and putting in that time and energy and effort and you are overseeing everything, you can ensure quality, you can, ensure that the job gets done. There's so many factors, right? But eventually, one day, probably way shorter than him, if you have a good enough business idea and you invest in the right people and you have the right employees, you could potentially not have to do anything for your business and let the general manager, let the whoever run it. Right? There would probably be less profit for you because you're not working, so you have to hire a person to do your job, but that still is absolutely viable for an entrepreneur. In these jobs, that is not the case because there are, like he said, so many factors, lawsuits and this and that, all those things that could be involved. And sure, there could be some of that involved in a normal business, but they're not like literally operating a potentially illegal business, in my opinion. All the disclaimer words, alleged, blah, blah, blah.
Business that I'm aware of where you have almost no risk. What's the risk? A few $100s on products you're going to consume and use anyway with a money back guarantee? What is the risk? What's the, like, I guess maybe the risk is you could embarrass yourself with some of your friends might make, who cares? Do they pay your bills? Some of them might make fun of you. Like, the risk isn't there, but the limitless potential is. But for those that treat it like a business. Right? I asked you earlier how many friends and followers you have. In fact, I'm sure a bunch of you did answer. So think about this. Let's say you have 1,000 friends, 2,000 friends. I want you to be honest. Let me see if I can go back to that. I want you to be honest. Okay, Lisa's 3,000. Tara's 3,000. I want some more of you to answer. How many friends and followers do you have? Molly, 2.4, 2,400. Oh, let's see who else answered. Not many of you answered. Come on, tell me, friends. Friends and followers, how many do you have? And then what's the percent?
I was trying to see the comments, and it just goes to show nobody's watching this guy. Nobody was watching him except for his own people, which he's just encouraging to work harder and harder for $0, right? That's the overall mission, the overall motivation. And he is essentially telling you that your relationship with him is only for money. He is telling you to your face. That is why I like your stuff. That is why I talk to you. That's why I have these 90-minute phone calls with you, so that you can make me more money. Right? That's the motivation behind this. I'm going to end it there. I couldn't get through it. I got a lot closer though. We got through 34 minutes, which is pretty impressive. And I've been filming for 2 hours. So that's also impressive, the amount of yapping I do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's my favorite part, is just reading what you have to say, reading your thoughts, reading all the things that you guys caught that I didn't. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Well, my phone died, but I had one more thing to say is thank you so much for watching, and you have a great rest of your day. Bye.